Taking Back the Road, Vinnie Monsonis.
Please, take a moment and look at this photo. Now, I want you to imagine that is your daily commute to work. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, look at that. The open road, the blue sky, the white puffy clouds, the green rolling hills. If this was my daily commute to work, I would arrive just energized and just ready to go. Unfortunately, this is more like my daily commute. Met the contest here? Fellow Toastmasters? Yes. Now I have a long commute to work. It's about 1 hour and 20 minutes each way. And that is only if everything goes perfect. If one thing goes wrong, 2 hours. And lately, things have been going wrong a lot more frequently. I consider myself to be a fairly safe driver. I'm patient, I'm courteous. I'm patient and I'm courteous. But you know what? It's not working for me anymore. I need to change. I need to be more like the people who are around me. Who are those people, you ask? Well, I've done some research. I'm going to share it with you right now. There are basically 3 types of drivers on the road. Angry drivers, distracted drivers, and selfish drivers. Now, I've met with representatives from each of these groups, and they've given me some driving tips. I'm going to share them with you tonight. Let's start by looking at the angry drivers. Now, the angry drivers were really anxious to share. Their first tip was about speed limits. The speed limits, they do not apply to the angry drivers. If they're going anywhere, they're going there fast. Now also, angry drivers love, in fact, they feel it's their duty to give feedback to all the other drivers. They do this with a very complex system. Facial expressions, hand gestures. Well, actually that's not true. 99% of the time, they just use this one. Now this next tip is pretty important. If you want to take out a piece of paper and write this down, do so. But if you do, practice this at home. Do not just try this because you could really hurt your back. Let me set the scene. Here we have our angry driver. She's at a traffic light. Between her and the traffic light is another car, just a normal driver. The light just turned green, maybe a millisecond ago. Our angry driver is leaning out of her car, and she's yelling, "Move it!" while simultaneously hitting the horn. Very advanced indeed. Thank you, angry drivers. I promise I will stay out of your way. Now our next group are our distracted drivers. It's a little difficult to get some tips out of them because you know they are distracted, but I got some good ones. The first one is all about multitasking. Here we have our distracted driver. She is working on a laptop, reading a newspaper, talking on a phone, holding a second phone in her other hand, all while driving. By the time this woman gets to the office, half of her work for the day is done. Amazing tip. Now, our distracted drivers would say something that would distract a normal driver doesn't distract them. Case in point, dogs in the car. This woman told me that these dogs do not impede her ability to operate this vehicle at all. In fact, she's spreading joy everywhere she goes. I would have to agree. If I was sitting in my car and this car drove past me with all these dogs hanging out of it, I would be 50% happier just for seeing it. Now, our last tip is about having passengers. See, distracted drivers don't call them passengers, they call them co-pilots. They give them all jobs. They go, you're in charge of radio, you're in charge of navigation, you hold the steering wheel, I drop a chapstick, I'm gonna go find it. See? Everyone's involved, everyone has fun. Thank you, distracted drivers. I hope that I see you before you don't see me. Our last group are our selfish drivers. They didn't want to give me any tips, but I got a couple of them. First tip is about parking. No. That's a Range Rover, folks. That's a luxury automobile. By parking like this, he's doing us a favor. See, If he parked in a normal spot and you were right next to him, and you dinged that car, oh, you'd feel terrible. No chance when he parks like this. Thank you. Now, most of us see a breakdown lane. Well, the selfish drivers don't call them breakdown lanes. They call them, I'm too busy to sit in traffic lanes. And I know when I'm in traffic jam and I see a car zipping by me in the breakdown lane, I don't get mad anymore. I say, there goes a very important and very busy person. I'm glad that I can do my small bit to make their day that much better. This is my favorite tip. The cold weather tip. This is so good, I implemented it last year. Now, do not waste time scraping all the ice and snow off your car. Just scrape enough so you can see, and then let Mother Nature do the rest. When that iceberg falls off the back of your car, who cares? You've already been there. Great tips. Thank you, selfish drivers. I now realize that it is truly all about you. Now that I've amassed all these tips, what I plan on doing is combining them into a single new driving style that I'm going to call Vinnie's Victorious Driving Style. Now, to further hone my skills, I went on Amazon.com and I got this book, The Bad Driver's Handbook. This thing is full of great tips. I recommend everyone get a copy. Now, Amazon, I don't know, they're very intuitive. As soon as I put this into my shopping cart, look what they recommended I get. A whole... You know I got that. Now as I'm practicing my new driving style, I can communicate with all the other drivers around me. Now I hope that I get to see each and every one of you on the open road. But if I do, stay on my way, because I'm taking back the road.